Okay, William. So we are starting our second video on this series, and so far it looks like there is going to be Newt and Obama. So what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I think it would be an exciting venue for those two to be the two candidates. We got the incumbent, and we have a guy who's basically an insider who knows how government works, was the Speaker of the House, running against the incumbent, which is your favorite, Mr. Obama. I was going to say doctor, but no, he's not a doctor.
Uh-huh. Well, so what do you think about what it's going to be about between Obama and Newt?
Well, I think it's just a contrast in style. Politically, philosophically, they have complete two different ways of looking at government. I personally think that Newt is conservative, but really he's probably more of a moderate, because if you look at what he's done in the past versus who he is and how he's evolved over the last 20 years, he's a much nicer, kinder Newt than he was when he was the Speaker of the House under President Clinton.
Well, Newt was able to get along with Clinton. That is, some conservatives and Republicans are having problem with that he was probably for them too flexible. And but do you think that he will be able to get along with the Democrats as a president?
I think he will. Newt's history is he actually ruffles the feathers of both Democrats and Republicans. And just because he was able to get along with President Clinton doesn't mean that he wasn't effective as a speaker. I mean, he actually balanced the budget 4 times, which had never been done in the history of our country. He also was able to get his agenda and still allow President Clinton to govern and appear to be as if he was governing the right way. But people forget that the government was shut down on several occasions just so Newt could get his budget balanced. And even though Clinton vetoed bills and the House kept sending them back and forth, they still were able to find a way to work together, find common ground, and still make that part of Clinton's presidency one of the most prosperous in our history, and actually in turn saved President Clinton and allowed him to get another 4 years. So yeah, I think that they'll be able to get along with both.
So you're going to give credit to Newt for Clinton's second term instead of Clinton himself?
I'm giving credit to both, because the question was, can Newt get along with Democrats? And my question is yes. He was able to work with Clinton. Clinton was far left and became more moderate, and he came more to the middle, and Newt was ultra-conservative and came moderate, and they both met in the middle, and they were able to actually govern the country after some stumbles with government shutdowns, but they were able to be effective as leaders. Both of them did.
I think Clinton was able to win election because he was always considered a moderate. He was never a favorite of liberals anyway. I mean,
he wasn't, but he did compromise on some things like, don't ask, don't tell. That was something he pushed very far. A lot of welfare reform that he didn't want to do, he ended up actually having to cave on. So I would say that initially in his first term, he was more liberal. By the time his second term was coming around, he was becoming more and more moderate and was more conscious of governing instead of being so tied to party lines.
Okay, what does Newt has to offer so far?
Newt has to offer a wealth of knowledge. He knows government. He's a historian. He's a professor. He's an author. Newt's problem is he tends to piss people off.
He's a speaker. He
was a former speaker of House.
He's an idea machine.
He's more than an idea. He actually is a solution man, which is a lot different than your guy, Obama, who's an ideologue. No solutions, but a lot of good ideas until you put them on paper.
Well, Obama has been able to offer solutions too.
Example?
A lot of solutions.
Give me one, please. Just one solution. All I want is one.
The solution is like economy, for example. Economy was so bad when he took office. The whole world's economy, not just the United States economy.
Europe, and it still is, though.
It's much better. It's much compared to the mess up that we had in 2008. It is much better. The employment rate is now unemployment rate is going down. I mean, it's
marginally.
Marginally, of course, it's like that. It doesn't have Aladdin's lamp to to solve it overnight. But
I wish he did have Atlanta's lamp, because I'd be in the 1%. But yeah, I would agree with you there. But at the same time, I don't think any of the ideas that he's put forth on the table has made our economy better or has promoted anything in job growth. If anything, it's been the opposite. The Frank Dodd bill, the overregulations by the EPA. I mean, it goes on and on and on how business in this country is not able to even.
Okay, so how the EPA is overregulated? I mean, we are still the largest polluter in the world.
Well, we're the largest polluter in the world, but I don't think that's accurate. I think China's even more worse than we are.
No.
Because they don't follow any of the regulations.
Not at all. China is nowhere even close to our pollution.
They have to be. They have more manufacturing than we do.
No, they don't.
What do you mean they don't? They're the number one producer in the world.
They are becoming a bigger polluter, but they are...
Becoming? They are.
No, they are not.
China is so unethical in the way they practice business that you can't even put them on a scale of how much pollution they're actually putting out, because nobody even knows what they're actually doing because they're so secretive. So I can't agree with that. My premise is this: our country can be restored with greatness if our president signs the new bill which will be on his desk, containing the pipeline that needs to be built, along with his quote-unquote unemployment benefits, which he wants to extend, Medicare and welfare payments that he wants to put back in or extend. But what's going to be attached to that is going to be the jobs plan that he wants, and a way to pay for that is by allowing the pipeline to be built. The question is he going to sign that bill? So far he says he's going to veto it. Now this is the president's talking about restoring America, manufacturing, bringing jobs home, boosting our economy. So how's that going to happen? Is he going to veto that bill?
I think you are coming to the basic point. The basic point over here is that since the turn of last century, if you see that the basic debate between Republicans and Democrats has been, the Republicans are saying that the wealth actually trickles down. And the Democrats are saying that we have a consumer-based economy, and economy cannot do good unless we have a strong consumer. Now the thing is that this Republican ideology has seriously failed 2 times already.
In what way?
In the way, because first time it's caused the Great Depression, and the second time it caused the 2008 crash of the market.
You're saying that Republicans did that?
This trickled down economy, of course.
Trickled down? I think the Democrats have trickled down, because only difference is in the Republicans' philosophy is wealth is accumulated by the individuals and distributed by the individuals, where the Democrats argue that wealth is created by government and government has the ability to distribute it, which is, in my opinion, that second model. I think what we should probably discuss is who would be the better president, the incumbent, Obama, or the challenger, who at this moment is the challenger in the Republican Party and is leading all the polls, Newt Gingrich. Who do you think would be the best?
I think Obama will be the best.
Because of what?
Because Obama has a wider and more comprehensive view of the economy and the social life.
Oh my God, he's smoking crack. You know what? I think you got a hold of some of those free drugs we were talking about before. Is there a prostitute in the closet? I just want to know, because this is like a Marion Barry thing all over again here.
No, those things are illegal so far, so they are not in the closet yet.
Okay. Wow. He has a better, what did you say he had about the economy?
A more comprehensive view.
He has a comprehensive view of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And how many jobs have been lost since he's been in office?
Jobs have been recovered, actually.
No. I didn't ask you how many were recovered. I said how many have been lost.
There's no net loss, there's net gain.
When he first came into office, there is no net gain. You cannot say that, because the unemployment rate is not below 7%.
Unemployment rate.
When he took office, what was unemployment?
Unemployment rate was at one point all hitting 11%.
But what was it when he took office?
But that was already happening. I mean, why are you?
You're not answering my question. What was it when he took office?
When he took office, it was I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was around 9 point some percent.
I think it was less than 9. It was 8 point something, if I'm not mistaken. And in the 3 years that he has been in office, excluding the last numbers that just came out, what did it peak at?
It at one point it hit 11, also
So it was like 10.9, wasn't it?
Almost 11%.
And up until a month ago, it was still at like 9.2, and then I think the latest numbers were what, 8.6.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get a net gain when you started at the same point? If anything, maybe now you are balanced.
No, the thing is that if you don't have a recent memory loss, I think you should remember that economy, the whole world's economy was like.
I'm not talking about the whole world. I'm talking about America's unemployment. I don't want to hear about the world. I already know the world's in the crapper. It's still in the crapper.
America's economy was totally messed up, and the banks were failing.
I don't want to hear. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about specifically unemployment. I don't want to hear about the banks. I don't want to hear about Europe. We already know those problems are actually getting worse. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about unemployment under Obama. Because he has a comprehensive view of the economy.
Yeah, he stopped that crisis, which put brakes on it, which was just under the goose, just kept getting worse and worse and worse for 8 years.
What?
Of course, it would.
What?
It did.
Oh my! Wait a minute. I'm like, I almost need a drink. I wish you had alcohol here. I don't even drink alcohol. But anyway, you're telling me that he put the brakes on a falling economy, mm-hmm. when unemployment actually peaked under him at close to 11%. And it is now relatively coming down, but also these numbers aren't really true because we have a lot of hiring because of the Christmas season. So we'll say 8.9. How is that a net gain when you are almost right where you were when you started?
But I give him credit because he stopped that
How
process.
Did he stop it?
Which Bush was
How
unable to
did
stop.
he stop the process?
He stopped the process with his policies.
Which were what? Give me some specifics because I'm having a hard time digesting this. Just give me one. Are you going to tell me TARP saved the economy? Are you going to tell me the stimulus packages saved the economy?
Well, you know
I mean, because we're only talking about unemployment. We're talking about his view on domestic policy that's affected our economy positively. So just give me one, just one thing.
The positive effects are that we are not losing jobs anymore.
Yes, we are.
No, we are not.
Did you not hear what the post office is getting ready to do? They're getting ready to lay off 100,000 people.
There are companies that are still.
Did you hear what Citibank's getting ready to do? Another 5,000 people. These are one of them is a corporate job, and one of them is a kind of a quasi-corporate, quasi-public. But I haven't seen any major hiring. I mean, I'll take that back. Home Depot said they would hire 50,000 seasonal workers. So come January 1st, that's the end of the season.
William, if you do not realize that, you shouldn't remember. The fact is that the big businesses and government are not the major source of the jobs. You would hear in the news.
Yeah, you're right.
Small businesses.
You're right.
Small businesses are actually now hiring people, and people are not losing jobs as they were. There are some companies, some businesses that are still maybe laying off people, but overall it's on the positive side. Right. An economy that was in recession is not in recession anymore.
This economy is we are in recession still. We have not come out of the recession.
Why
Housing is still in the toilet. Private jobs being created it's not flourishing. I mean, I have a small business, you have a small business. Have you hired anybody?
I haven't hired anybody.
That was the question. And ask me if I've hired anybody.
Have you hired anybody?
No. And why haven't I hired anybody? Because my personal economy is not turning around. I'm scared because I don't know what my taxes are going to be next year, because they can't seem to pass anything in the wonderfully leadership of our great leader, your Obama, my Obama, our president. I don't see
You
it.
got accused, you accept.
No, I have to accept him as my